Now, the country will not default on its debt obligations, even as concerns over the public debt continue to rise. This is according to state officials who were present during NCBA's Economic Forum, who reiterated that the government has crafted a clear debt repayment plan with all relevant creditors. Dennis Otieno has the details.
Changes that are made to...
While responding to questions from the public during NCBA's Economic Forum, Central Bank of Kenya Deputy Governor Susan Koech ruled out default, even as the country struggles with a heavy debt load. The deputy CBK boss hinting that plans are already in place to manage the debt.
Kenya will never default. Our debt levels are sustainable, and the government has a plan that include first to manage the $2 billion US dollar euro bond immediately before the end of this year through a liability management. And we have been able to ensure that every time that a debt is supposed to be repaid, it is repaid because it's also in the government budgetary plan.
Her sentiments were echoed by the president's advisor, David Ndii, who says Kenya has no intention of taking such a route.
Why are we so sort of proactive on the IMF program? Without the IMF program, we would probably default, let's be honest. They can also give us access to something called an exceptional window in the event. So we have access to the entire IMF balance sheet.
As of June this year, Kenya's public debt closed the 10 trillion shilling mark to hit 10.19 trillion shillings, leading to speculation that the country could default like other African nations such as Zambia and Ghana.
I agree with you. I mean, it's not by agreeing with you as well that, I mean, without the IMF, we'd be in Ghana's place because they too had the political rhetoric well our pride would not allow us to do. But I've looked at the government of Kenya's undertakings, or rather agreement with the IMF. And in our trying to provide a checklist, there are almost 35 or 38 things that government needs to do. Are those too many?
We're talking about the debt to GDP ratio. We like the fiscal consolidation that is taking place today because the interest payment to almost a tune of 800 billion Kenya shillings is very high, and this is going to be reduced, and we like that fiscal consolidation.
The government has vowed to ramp up tax collection in a bid to fund key projects in its agenda. Curbing expensive commercial borrowing was part of the current administration's promise, aimed at reducing debt servicing pressures. Dennis Otieno, Citizen TV.